So it is 6:20 in the morning, and I woke up about a half an hour ago and couldn't get back to sleep because that's just how my body works. Once I'm up, I'm up. So I decided to come outside because it is only 69 degrees, and I'm going to try to work in the garden a little bit. I also wanted to show you guys this really cool hat that I got. I got a straw hat from 7-Eleven last night on my way home because it was $7. I mean, okay, I'm living. I just really needed, I have baseball caps and stuff. I just needed something for the garden because nothing bothers me more than the heat on my face. Like, I will legit get sick if my face gets too hot. I can deal with the general heat, but just not direct sun on my face. Yeah, so I brought out my little basket of seeds here, and I'm gonna go through and see. I want to see what else I can plant, what I've missed, what I want to plant more of. I think I have like 70 days until the first frost, but I'm only going to choose stuff that's 60 days or less just to make sure that I get something out of them. So I'm going to go through those and then we're going to head out to the garden. It's so weird being out here when my little floodlight is still on. Like, I usually get up at like 6:45 or 7, but it takes me like 30 minutes until I can get outside. So yeah, it's just a little strange. So these are all the seeds that I picked out, and doesn't mean these are all the seeds that are gonna get planted, but you know, I have good intentions, so that's all that counts. Cucumbers, carrots, black beauty, zucchini, which I've never actually grown. I've probably tried to plant it before, but you know, this is my first kind of successful garden. Yellow squash, peas, more okra, and more squash. And really, we just eat a ton of squash in this house, so I could honestly live off of, like, if all of these beds were squash. I make these zucchini cakes that are bomb, which I'm thinking I want to try to freeze a bunch of them and see if I can, like, you know, just bake them later or pan fry them later. But yeah, anyway, I added this little box bed thing there, and my boyfriend brought home 3 more boxes. So that big one, I've got to break those legs off of it with a hammer, which is not fun, but gotta do it so it can sit on the ground. I'm gonna try to fill all 3 of these up with soil, plant some of these seeds in them, and I'll check back with you guys when I'm done. I'm sure you guys saw the little baggies that I keep my seeds in. Those have been working awesome. If you guys need a solution so that your seeds don't spill out, you can get some of those at Walmart in the jewelry section, or you can get them on Amazon. I'm sure they're really cheap. We just get them for free at work. This is what I have now, and I feel like it just looks so much better with just those few more boxes added in. It's crazy. And I put those 2 in front of that tree that's dead. That's gonna have to come out eventually, but I'm not too worried about it at the moment. And I got that little thing at a craft fair. I think it was like 30 bucks. This guy made them by hand locally. They're just like bent, some kind of cheap metal. So it rusted and I spray painted it, but it's pretty cool. So all these guys are looking good, other than those stinking squash bugs are coming back, because in that tire I have 1 decorative squash plant left. So that is giving me squash bugs. But I went through these today and killed any squash bugs that I saw. And when I was pruning the tomato plants, I threw some of the non-diseased scraps in here, because I've noticed they kind of leave tomato plants alone. So I don't know if that's just because they don't like the taste or if it's the smell, but either way, I'm willing to try anything. So in this bed, I planted a few yellow squash and some basil. I've been trying to mix herbs in as well for the bugs. And I did order neem oil too. That should be here tomorrow. So I'm also going to spray some neem oil. I have to find a good recipe. And in this bed, I have that little lavender plant. And when I checked those plants this morning, none of them had squash bugs. So I'm thinking the herbs is the way to go. In this bed, I have these little tomato cuttings. And I think I took these off of the bigger tomatoes that I have. But I had to kind of split them apart because I didn't think they would all make it, but they did. So those all had roots on them. And I planted some basil in there too because I had a whole tray of them. So I'm just trying to stick them wherever I can. I know it'll probably make the plants grow a little slower, the basil, but I don't really care. If I get a few leaves off each one, that's fine with me. So I added some peas in here. And some of them still are not looking too good. Must be some grasshoppers. So then these two boxes, in the front one I planted carrots, and in the back one I planted oh gosh, this is what happens. I planted yellow squash in that one too. And of course all of my roosters are going to sound off now, but I fed them before I filmed this, hoping that they wouldn't. So I had to put in this trellis because these tomato plants were starting to touch the ground, and as you can see on this one, I haven't really touched this one yet. There is a ton of dead stuff up in there. So I had this scrap, like plastic fencing stuff. So I took some zip ties and these little posts that I had and just strung this up. It's not perfect at all. And it's actually two pieces that I zip tied together, but it will work. So I just wanted to keep these off the ground because they were close to touching, and like some of these are really just looking great, so I don't want to screw that up at all. So the plan tonight is to come back in here. I'm going to add a post maybe like right in the middle there and fix this guy. These other plants aren't really touching the ground, so I'm not going to trellis them, but I am going to give them a good trim because there are some dying parts in there. And the okra is looking great, although I think the squash bugs have eaten some of it. It's still growing just fine though. These three squashes, nothing has really touched. And my two tomato plants, they're looking decent. This one needs some help still. This one looking great. I probably still will trim that dead stuff or disease stuff off there. So other than that, I will show you some garlic I have growing. So in this pot, I stuck some garlic bulbs right in the ground, and we've got some coming up. So I'm very excited about that. So lastly, I will show you what I've got on the porch. I have some parsley here, which I honestly haven't used yet. It's just been growing. And these are the two trays of radishes that I tried. I don't think they're doing well at all. I pulled up one just to see if it was growing any kind of, you know, ball on the bottom, and it wasn't. So I think I'm going to just start some in the garden, and I might start some more in these if I can poke some holes in the bottom and put them in direct sun. I think that was my problem. And here is my basil, which needs a little bit of love. I think it's about to flower, so I'm going to end up ripping that off in hopes that it will grow bigger. So that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any gardening tips for me or anything you've noticed that you think might help me, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.